Boys and girls, we are going to be making boxes in 1-point perspective to practice our perspective talents here. So, simply, you'll have directions, but I'm going to go over the directions and show you exactly what to do. Very simply, step 1, line your ruler up with the edge of your paper and draw your horizon line. That's where the ground meets the sky, and the vanishing point is where your vision is going. You want a vanishing point. Step 2, in the foreground up here, I'd like you to draw several rectangles using a pencil and a ruler. Line up the edge of your paper with the the ruler with your paper, and you can draw the bottom and top of your rectangle. Once again, line the edges up and draw the sides of your rectangle. I'm going to have to erase those extra little lines. And here we are, one rectangle. If your line runs over the edge, erase it. You do not have to draw as heavily as I am right now. I'm doing that so you can see my rectangles really well. I'm going to draw another rectangle here. Let's see, I actually like to start with the length part of it. So edge, line up those edges. Maybe a line over here and a line over there. Turn your ruler. So you basically just made two very squared off rectangles. Don't do this freehand. Without a ruler, you will get very sloppy rectangles. And go slow and steady. All right, I have one rectangle a little higher than the other. Now I'm going to draw these. It's almost like these diagonal lines that are connecting each corner of the triangles or these rectangles to this vanishing point. So they go from one point to the vanishing point. So what you do is you make sure your ruler is touching that vanishing point, and then the ruler is touching the edge of the rectangle, and connect them. Now just turn your ruler, hold it tight on the vanishing point, find the second edge and draw it over. Now we need the side. Turn it ever so slightly. You can barely see the edge of this. Goes all the way over. All right, boys and girls, next one. I'm going to connect this edge with this vanishing point, and I have to turn it in this direction because it's on this side of the paper. Have your ruler touch the top edge. Bring your ruler down to the vanishing point. Uh-oh, it slides. Always make sure these points are connected before you draw your line. There we go. And one more. So now we have some shapes that look as if they're floating in space. Alright, boys and girls, I am going to add one more rectangle because I seem to have a really little bit of an empty space here. You do not have to have a third one, but I'd like to show you what the third one would look like down here. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. Turning my ruler so that I get straight edges. Make sure I keep the ruler flush to the bottom of the paper. And here we go. Then I connect this rectangle with the vanishing point. I'm going to run into this other one, so I'm going to stop when I hit that other one. It's getting crowded in space. And I'm going to stop right here when I hit this other one. And can barely see the edge. There we go. Now I'm going to draw the tops of these lines. Watch. This is the top edge of this cube. So I'm going to move my line up a little bit. Draw a line over. It's parallel to this bottom one. And I'm going to turn this to the side and draw the side line, which barely even shows. You can hardly see it. Erase these edges. It's so close to this point that you really can't see the edge. Perspective can get tricky. So I have a cube down here. Now I'm going to follow the top of this cube over, and I'm going to decide how wide I want it, and maybe right here. Draw your parallel line over, turn. Now you're going to follow the edge of this cube over to this line and connect. And then you can erase your guidelines so that I just have a cube. And this one, I'll draw a line up from that line from the side, make sure my edges are straight. Draw a line over and complete the edge. There we go. And a straight line down. Barely see the side of this. You barely see the side. And voila! You have 3 or 2 rectangles. And you're erasing those guidelines. All right. You always erase these extra lines to finish the drawing. And remember, we complete each form drawing these perpendicular lines on the top and the sides of each rectangle. And we will have 3-dimensional boxes. Thank you, boys and girls. Boys and girls, you can see here that you could also draw cubes above the horizon line where you would see the bottom of the cube, but we're not going to do that yet. But I'd like you to just visualize it, and you can see the horizon line. You can see below on the top of the cubes, from the side of the cubes, and from the bottom. Enjoy yourself, boys and girls.